If you can, you should be using your Wi-Fi extender in access point mode. With access point mode, not only will you be broadcasting Wi-Fi signals to all areas of your home, including those areas that were previous Wi-Fi dead spots, but you'll also be guaranteeing that you're getting strong internet performance in those areas as well. The same can't be said if you're using extender mode with your Wi-Fi extender, and that's where the advantages of access point mode lie. In this episode from Network from Home, I'm going to be showing you how to set up your extender in access point mode, and I'll also be detailing the differences in performance that I got with using access point mode versus extender mode. With the basics out of the way, let's talk about what you need to set up your extender in access point mode. You obviously need your extender on hand. You also need an Ethernet cable to connect your extender and router. Mine's pretty long, but that's because I'm going to be setting up my extender pretty far away from my router. This is an important note here that if it's not feasible for you to connect your extender and your router with an Ethernet cable, then access point mode probably isn't a great fit for you. However, if it is feasible, in addition, you also need a device that you can use to access your extender settings. In this example, we'll be using a laptop. You can also use a tablet, mobile phone, dealer's choice there. And obviously another thing you need is a router with a working internet connection that's broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal. The first thing we have to do to get this thing in access point mode is we have to set it up in extender mode. If your extender is already in extender mode, you can skip these steps, but we'll fly through these quickly just to make sure we're all on the same page. In order to do that, we have to connect this to a power outlet that's close to our router. We just need to make sure that this device is receiving a strong Wi-Fi signal from your router. So let's do that now. Okay, this outlet's pretty crowded, but we're just gonna connect our extender here. You'll see some lights start to light up as it goes through its setup process, but we're going to wait until this light here at the top, which is the power light, is a solid blue light. Then we'll jump to the next step. I should also mention that these next configuration steps I'm going to be completing on my laptop. You should also be able to set up your extender with Wi-Fi protected setup or WPS, or your manufacturer's application. For TP-Link, it's the Tether app. I'm going to be doing it on my computer so everyone can follow these steps. So with our extender with a solid blue light, the next thing we need to do is connect to the Wi-Fi network that our extender is broadcasting. Please make note here that we're not talking about your router's Wi-Fi network. We're talking about your extender's Wi-Fi network. It will have a default Wi-Fi network you can connect to. To find out what that default Wi-Fi network is, it's usually included in the user manual or on a sticker on your extender itself. For me, it's pretty easy. I believe it's TP-Link extender. Let's go in here. It should pop up in a second. There it is, TP-Link extender. So let's connect to that. We need to select a password for the settings of this device, so make sure you select a secure password. With your password selected, press start. Now the device is scanning for the available Wi-Fi networks in the area. And as you can see, here's all the Wi-Fi networks it picks up. What you have to do is you have to select one of the Wi-Fi networks that your router is broadcasting. This will allow you to connect your extender to your router. So here I'm going to select Network from Home 5G. We're going to type in the password and select Next. It's now going to ask me for the password for the 2.4 Wi-Fi network that my router is broadcasting. That's because my Wi-Fi extender extends both the 5G and the 2G Wi-Fi networks. So enter this password if you're prompted for it and select Next. Now the device is rebooting, and once it reboots, it will have a connection with your router. So that way you can start accessing the internet with your Wi-Fi extender, and it will officially be in Wi-Fi extender mode. Another suggestion for everybody out there, if when you're setting up your extender for the first time, if you're prompted to enter the Wi-Fi network and password that your extender is broadcasting, you might want to enter the same Wi-Fi network and password that your router is broadcasting if you plan on using your extender in access point mode. That way, when you move around your home, your devices will seamlessly connect to either your extender in access point mode or your router, depending upon the strength of Wi-Fi signal it's receiving. The reason I didn't see that is because my extender is compatible with TP-Link mesh mode, so it automatically is meshing with my router and sharing the same Wi-Fi network. That point is not really important at this point because we're going to be putting the device in access point mode, so I'll have an opportunity to make changes to those Wi-Fi settings if I want to. Of course, you can make the Wi-Fi network that your access point is broadcasting different than the one your router is broadcasting, but then keep in mind you'll have to manually switch when you're moving around your home, depending upon the strength of Wi-Fi signal your device is receiving. With that said, I'm prompted here to relocate my device to different areas of the home that will cover the dead spots that I'm currently experiencing. But we're not done yet. We want to set it up in access point mode first before we do any relocation. So what we want to do, we want to go up here to settings. After a few minutes, I got a timeout notification when I tried to access my extender's settings. And this makes sense because once it joined and connected to my router, it received a new IP address from the router itself. So what I have to do, I have to go in, find out what that new IP address is for my extender in order to access its settings and make the change into access point mode. I'll show you how to do this just so you can follow along. I know my router is at 192.168.0.1, so I'll go there and access my router settings first. Here I'll enter the password for my router settings. Okay, here we are in my router settings. As I mentioned, my device was set up by default in one mesh mode. In order to get it into Wi-Fi extender mode, which is the mode that most of you will see at this point, I had to go into one mesh. I had to turn it off for my device. And now when I go back to my settings, it will look just like it does for everybody else whose device is in extender mode. To find out what the IP address of our extender is, we go to wireless clients, scrolling down. Here, unknown. I know this is the device just because I know the other devices in my home network. We're going to take that IP address, put it up here in the browser, and here we are. Now we need to enter the password for the settings of our extender. So go ahead and enter that now. We're going to skip this prompt here, don't show again. Before we change the extender to access point mode, we need to connect your extender and your router with an Ethernet cable. This is what allows the two devices to communicate when the extender is in access point mode. So I'll show you how to do that on the extender first, and we'll take it from there. As you can see on the side of your device, there's only one Ethernet port. It should be the only Ethernet port on the device, so just connect one end of your Ethernet cable to that port. We'll do that here. Okay, we're connected there. Obviously, the other end of the Ethernet cable connects to your router. Your router should probably have 4 LAN ports. These orange ports here, pick any one of those and you should be fine. And here we can make the changes to put our extender in access point mode. So what we have to do up here in mode, select access point and select save. This is going to reboot the device. We select yes. Now we'll give it a few minutes and then we can move forward. Now with your extender rebooted in access point mode, you may need to put the password in again, so we'll do that. And these settings for your extender will confirm all you want to see. The internet connection has a check mark because your extender and router are connected with an Ethernet cable. Your extender in access point mode is now getting access to the internet through your router. On top of that, if you go up to mode, it's in access point mode, so we know that's good to go as well. Another thing you should take note of here is that once you put this device into access point mode, these lights on the side won't be accurate. These lights are made for extender mode. So this light right here, which is meant to indicate internet connection, it's not lit up, but that's because you're getting an internet connection through the wired connection between your extender and your router. So just make sure you're not paying too much attention to these lights at this point. It won't give you any good information. That's why we're going to your device's settings to confirm what we want to see. Now that we've confirmed that this device is in access point mode and it has a working internet connection, you can go and plug this into an outlet anywhere in your home so that it provides a Wi-Fi signal to the current dead spots you're experiencing. I also advise that once you set up this device in that location, use a device, try to connect to the internet, run a speed test, and compare the results. This is where I noticed the biggest difference between access point mode and extender mode. When I ran a speed test in access point mode, the internet performance was extremely similar to what I was getting when I was connecting through my router. Whereas when this device was in extender only mode and I was running a speed test, I was getting about 1/3 of the bandwidth. Granted, in this test, I was getting slightly lower ping in extender mode, but honestly, I view this as a fluke, and that's because other people in my home were using the internet at the same time. You should get very similar, if not lower ping values when you're in access point mode compared to extender mode. So the bottom line is here, you get way better performance in access point mode. And if you want to verify the Wi-Fi signal and make sure that the dead spots in your home are now covered with a Wi-Fi signal, you can use a Wi-Fi analyzer like Acrylic Wi-Fi or a similar application just to make sure that not only are you getting good internet performance, but good Wi-Fi signal as well. If you were able to use these steps to successfully set up your device in access point mode, I would love it if you give the video a like. On top of that, I'd love to see in the comments what kind of performance you're getting with your extender in access point mode. As always, thanks for checking out this episode from Network from Home, and we'll catch you on the next one.